Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are back in Enthusia with a beautiful, currently final generation with Thunderbird. It's in a very nice sort of baby blue color, reminiscent of the original Thunderbirds. Or at least of the more pastel colors of the Thunderbirds of the 50s. Powered by a beautiful Jaguar V8 engine. The newer AJ Jaguar V8 engine with the electronic throttle and variable valve control that produces around just under 300 horsepower. Made it to I believe a 5-speed automatic transmission. So it should be reasonably quick, but nothing super special on the track. But it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun just to give this a little bit of a go. See exactly what we can do with it. May as well. I don't think we actually did any adjustments to the suspension. I think we should do some settings adjustments. Yeah, because the T-Bird is set up a bit soft, so I do wanna stiffen things up a bit and get it a little bit towards oversteer with some more rear negative camber to catch it. A little bit of acceleration, just a little bit of limited slip differential adjustments. There we go. Alrighty there. Alright, now let's do a race. Pacific Gateway, first one. It's a shame though. So I'm looking at the history of a lot of cars that kind of had more of a retro-esque styling. A lot of them didn't really, like, they became kind of cult classics, but they didn't really sell that well. Like, okay, a few of them did. Like the newer Mini Coopers did. The Volkswagen Beetles and the PT Cruisers kind of did. But other vehicles that had a more sort of retro with an EAUX, a sort of fake faux retro styling. It's a little bit interesting. Like the T-Bird didn't sell that well. The Chevrolet SSR didn't sell that well. The Chrysler Prowler didn't sell all that well. So there's a lot of vehicles with the retro styling that were really cool in concept, just did not market well. And partially, I think a lot of that is just due to the fact that while they look the part, I think a lot of them, for the price points, they didn't really offer a whole lot. They didn't really offer a whole lot to really kind of get people enticed. It was more so a nostalgia bait remake. It's like, yeah, you have the Chrysler Prowler, or the Plymouth Prowler, or Dodge Prowler. It was marketed on a whole bunch of different brands at the time. But you had that, and it looked super cool, to the point where even knowing the dreadful underpinnings of that car, like, I still kind of want one, unironically, just because of how cool it is. But then you actually look at, what powers it and everything, and it's a rather anemic 6-cylinder V6. Not making a whole lot of horsepower, and it's only made it to the automatic transmission as well. So you got something that looks like, a classic hot rod, and it just putzes along. It's definitely not going to be any all that quick. Oh gosh. Come on. Get it, turn around. Alright, we need to make up some ground now. We need to make up a lot of ground. Then you had the Chevrolet SSR, which, well, it did have a very good engine, decent drivetrain. It tried to be too many things at once and did nothing well. Because it wasn't durable enough, and it was too expensive to be a truck. But it didn't quite have the handling of a sports car or performance vehicle either. So it just kind of ended up in this no man's land of jack of all trades, but really jack of nothing as well, because it didn't do anything well. Which is a shame, because the truck itself was super cool. I mean, convertible truck with the engine, with an LS series engine. That's all low and sleek and everything. Like that is it looks really cool. And then of course you had the what are some other ones? Of course, now you have the T-Bird as well here. And a T-Bird, again, it had the Jaguar V8, the AJ8 series engine. And before it got the variable valve timing and the electronic throttle, it made even less horsepower than it did currently. Made, I think, around 250, 230, somewhere in that ballpark range. Which for a big V8 engine is pretty dreadful, actually. And it only came in an automatic transmission. And it felt like it was a car design more so for people that were nostalgic for the original T-Bird rather than to get new car buyers also wanting to purchase it. And it didn't sell well. And when improvements were made, like with the more power and with the 5-speed select shift automatic transmission, it was a little bit of too little too late, which is unfortunate. Because the car itself looks very, very nice. Especially the later performance variations. I think there was even a supercharged version too, like a special supercharged edition. I may be misremembering, but I believe so. And it was just really, really cool. I mean, we're dueling it out right now with a Honda NSX in a very, very heavy, still very soft. As you can see there with the really, really soft suspension, very, very soft suspension T-Bird. Does not like trying to brake and turn at the same time, especially through chicanes. It's a little bit tricky there. Alright, let's get this position back. Oh boy. Alright, the NSX has a decent amount of power on the straights. Not as much as we do, actually, or just a little bit more. Being right around the low 300s, high 200s range. Depending on which tests you want to believe, and which statistics you want to believe. Because a lot of Japanese car manufacturers during the 90s and early 2000s, they kind of had a gentleman's agreement to basically say, yeah, our engines actually make more horsepower, but on the stat sheet, the max they can be listed as is 280 horsepower. So pretty much that's why all the cars, you know, a lot of like the Japanese legends and stuff like that, like the GTR, the Nissan Zs and everything, they all say they make around like 280 horsepower, but some of them make quite a bit more. Well, the engines are severely detuned so that you yourself, once you kind of retune them, you can make a whole lot of power. Which is why a lot of people kind of gush about the 2JZ and the RB26 engines, because those engines were designed to be a lot more powerful. Alright, nice and easy. Come on, we got one more good passing opportunity. You can get a good run down here, down the back straight, and get a good smooth braking line. Probably want to brake just a little bit early so we can do our braking in a straight line. There we go, cut through. Nope. Nope, that was dreadful. And we lost the points completely there. That's what happens when you be a little bit too aggressive. Oh, that's entirely on my fault. That's entirely on me. Dang. Oh, bad start to this stream. That's okay. That means the only place we have to go is up. So, with that, let's take the beating we're about to get in terms of the points. Yep, that was dreadful. And we're not gonna get any points at all. Yeah, our ranking decreased. Okay, we need to get a good race in now. We need to adjust the suspension just a tad more. The suspension is still very, very, very soft, kind of spongy a little bit. So I do wanna stiffen it up just a little bit. And then stiffen up the rear, increase rear negative camber. It's probably the best way to do that. There we go. And that should make the car just a little bit more responsive. Alright. American Car Limited race. We already raced it though. What else do we have? Under 4 liter race at Tsukuba. We got a decent shot at this. Let's do it. Get some good points. Get some good racing at Tsukuba as well. I just enjoy racing at Tsukuba. There we go. Use the power of the V8. All right, down to second gear. Okay, the car is a lot more responsive now. Just a little bit squirrely, but still within the realm of control. I think once we upgrade the car a little bit, it'll be much faster around the corners. Because right now the suspension, it's much more responsive. So if we can get tires that can match that responsiveness, some grippier tires, we should be able to have that consistency to really allow it the speed around the tracks, especially the twistier tracks. Should be good. Car does not like off-road though. Do not dip a wheel into the grass. Alright, nice and easy. There we go. Very good. First lap, very clean. We got that TVR behind us. That is, well, basically we have sort of an American car design to sort of appeal to the nostalgia, and then a high-performance, super lightweight British sports roadster that's producing about an extra 70 horsepower than us and weighs considerably less. We're managing to hold it off reasonably well, actually. Going a little bit wide on exit here. Oh gosh. Spun the wheels a bit, lost a little bit of grip. Okay. We'll have to get that place back. We will need to get that place back. Hi there. Alright. Can we do a dive bomb move into this corner? Nope, you're doing a defensive move. That's fine. Very late block. You moved under braking there, which is a bit frustrating. That's fine. We'll have to work to get that position back now. Especially because they are so much faster than us on the straights. Alright, Troy will brake a bit into the corner. Use a little bit of throttle to pull us out of the slide. There we go, decent. We still lost a little bit of time there. Alright, brake just on the uphill. Okay, yeah, we're losing a little bit of time on the corner exit. I think we're being a little bit too aggressive with the throttle. So we gotta watch that. Downside is with a lower powered car, you do need to be a little bit aggressive on the throttle to get a good launch out of the corners to kind of compensate the lack of top end speed. Alright, that's fine. We got the car turned around. Wasn't the cleanest corner. A lot of wheel spin. Usually want to try to race without a whole lot of, a little bit of slip angle, but not a whole lot of loss of traction. Easy. Right, there we go. Much better lap time. Alright, we're in the 112s now. Oh, that's a dreadful line to the corner. It's way too early of an apex. Alright, that's going to cause us some time lost. I got the NSX right on our rear quarter. Jeez, keep it steady. Only downside is the AI sometimes doesn't quite realize you are there. Alright, we got one more lap. Let's see if we can hold on to third position, get a good podium spot. Get some decent points here. There we go. Beautiful. Good launch out of the corner. Good line. Use a little bit of the curbing as well to run just a little bit wide. Evening Sprockets, good to see you. Oh, I gotta remind myself after this race, I actually want to show you something that I think you might find really, really cool. May as well talk about it a bit now. IMSA, the International Motorsports Association, basically the governing body for a lot of North American sports car racing, is planning, or potentially planning, hosting a one-make race of Ford Mustangs. So it's a Ford and IMSA partnership of the special track-only sort of Mustang cars. I think it's like the Mustang R and the Mustang S that they are intending to create, which hopefully means some really, really good racing. Because some of the other IMSA one-make events, like the Miata Cup, especially the Miata Cup, make for some really, really good racing, because oftentimes the cars, because they're spec cars, and are, you know, you can't really do a whole lot of adjustments on them. The rate, and they're, you know, not really downforce dependent. The racing is super, super, super close. So I'm hoping with the Mustang, if the Mustang event does come to fruition, that also produces some really, really good racing. So I know some people don't quite like a lot of the one-make races that IMSA does, but I really, really like it because it's pretty much all the cars, all the drivers in equal machinery, you know, pure driving skill and everything, which is really, really nice, especially in the more momentum-based, less downforce oriented vehicles. Yeah, hang on a second. Let me actually pull it up. All right, display capture, left monitor. Boop. Yeah, this one. Ford Performance will launch a single-make series with the new Ford Mustang Dark Horse R, which could debut as early as next year. Teased during the reveal of the 7th generation Mustang last September, Ford Performance Global Motorsports Director Mark Rushbrook confirmed the Sports Car 365 that new Mustang-only race series has been under development, which is super cool. So this will be a spec series, similar again to the MX-5 Cup, which is basically the MX-5 Cup for IMSA, if you're not familiar, is basically these vehicles, with the exception of the racing slicks, and upgraded suspension, and obviously the interior stripped down for like, you know, racing modifications to the interior for safety reasons, you know, roll cage, racing seat, 5-point harness. The rest of the vehicle is pretty much entirely a stock Mazda MX-5. Like it is the same engine that powers this car that powers a road MX-5. Like no modifications can be done to it. The engines are completely sealed, so you can't even tamper with them. It is purely, and because of that, you get some really, really, like after an hour of racing, this is the finish for one of the races at Sebring last year. They were inches apart from each other going across the line. Like that is really, really, really cool. There was a better picture of the photo finish. This I believe was the finish at Daytona this year. But outside of that one, you also have the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup, which again they were basically racing, you know, Porsche 911 GT3s, but it's a one-make race there. And then you had the Lamborghini Super Trofeo race, which is another IMSA sanctioned one-make race in the States, and basically they race the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo, which is a much higher downforce, very, very high cornering speed car. But everyone is in everyone is in the same, pretty much the same exact car. So it's the entire grid of just V10 Lamborghinis racing through everywhere from like Barber Motorsports Park to Daytona, the Sebring, and everything, which is super, super cool. But it'll be really cool to have another one make event. So the back to the Dark Horse. So Dark Horse, it'll be about 500 horsepower, and it'll be sort of GT4 level specifications. So moderate aero, slight front splitter, slight rear wing, not big wide body, not massive amounts of aerodynamic help. So that should allow for very, very close racing, which I am very excited for. I'm hoping it is really, really good. But here we are with our a different Ford, our T-Bird. It's been a little bit squirrely on us due to the fact that it is kind of heavy and a little bit underpowered in terms of power to weight ratio. So we do need to kind of overdrive the car just a little bit to have it be competitive against faster opponents. But yes. All right, let's see what else we can race at. Let's do the Nürburgring challenge. Hopefully there isn't any other vehicles that we can unlock, but we can at least do a good race at the Nürburgring. Nürburgring is one of my better tracks, usually. At the very least, it's a track that I can kind of get a decent lead on the AI early enough that any mistakes I make won't absolutely ruin the race. Alright, let's roll. Gotta try to minimize wheel spin. The Jaguar V8 on it is a little bit torquey. Doesn't have a whole lot of top end power though. But it's decent enough. Especially with the higher performance variation that came in the later model years. With the variable valve timing and the electronic throttle body, definitely made it a much more sporty engine. But unfortunately, that was really close to the end of the 11th and final generation of Thunderbird. If they had started out with that engine, I think the Thunderbird could have sold a lot better. But at the time, it was definitely a little bit of a too little, too late fix. That does mean though that the values of the later model 11th generation Thunderbirds a bit higher in value compared to the earlier 11th generation Thunderbirds. So my favorite generation of Thunderbird is actually, at least of modern Thunderbirds, I really like the 10th generation, especially the SC ones with the supercharged V6. That one was super cool. As well as the Thunderbirds that were built on the Fox platform, the 9th generation Thunderbirds built on the Fox platform. Those ones are really nice because they were kind of slowly coming back to the more sports specialty vehicle image that the original Thunderbird tried to cultivate before it went into before it became a much larger sort of personal luxury vehicle. And it was much sort of smaller design. I say smaller design. They were still fairly heavy vehicles powered by big V8 or supercharged V6 motors. But it was compared to the later LTD-based Thunderbirds that were absolutely huge. They were much more maneuverable, much more sporty. And we even used, oh dear, in NASCAR. That was dreadful. Alright, we're gonna get some of these places back. Yeah, the Thunderbird does not like trail braking. The rear end gets very light on the trail braking. So I need to try to do more of my braking in a straight line, which will lead to slower but more consistent lap times. I can't really be super aggressive, high commitment in this car. It will backslap me if I try to do that. So it is a bit front heavy. Doesn't exactly have a 50-50 front rear weight distribution. That's fine. Let's try to slide this try to slide this catbird around the Nordschleife. Try to get back at least in the third, maybe even second. First is a bit of a reach, but we do see third right there in the ASL. And we do have a considerably higher horsepower than the ASL. The ASL is much more nimble. It's basically, you can consider it a Japanese Lotus Elise. But once we get to a straightaway, or a higher speed section, we can definitely catch that one back up. Alright, nice and easy. The car really does not like the trail braking. I'm trying to sort of moderate it a bit. But even then, it's getting a little bit sideways through some of these turns. All right, we are getting just a little bit of time on the ASL in front of us, and the second doesn't look like it's too far ahead. It's hard to tell on the map. All right, we're into a higher speed section. This will be where the V8. Where the V8 of the Thunderbird really shines. So we got about an extra 80 horsepower on the ASL in front of us. V8 versus a little inline 4. Although it's doing surprisingly well on the straights as well. There we go, get into the draft. Pass. Alright, 5th gear, final gear. Alright, up to 130. It's good, that's good. 5th gear is, the gear ratio for 5th gear is so much longer than 4th gear, so you go into it and you lose pretty much any and all acceleration though, because basically 5th gear for this was designed more so for like highway cruising and stuff, fuel economy and everything. Keep those RPMs very low at higher speeds. But the downside is, in terms of a racing application, it means basically you go from 4th gear, a very usable 4th gear, rev it out as high as you can go, and then you get to 5th gear, that's pretty much your top speed. It's like for IndyCar, where they run it like the Indianapolis 500 and other high-speed super speedways. It's basically 5th and 6th gear that they use. 5th gear for when they want some more power, some more acceleration, and 6th gear when they want to do more fuel economy, fuel-saving modes. But both of them will pretty much be how you're running at close to the same speeds. You're not going to be bouncing off the rev limiter in 6th gear. It's basically going to be sort of an engine and fuel conservation mode in 6th gear, which in a 500-mile endurance race at an oval, a rectangle, high-speed oval, it is very important that you conserve your engines, and you also conserve fuel as well, because pit stops, because of short lap times, are very costly. As is trying to trail brake on a downhill section in a very front-heavy car. I need to stop doing that. Stop that, Isaac. I think I should probably adjust the toe angle a little bit for some stability, as well as give it just a little bit less front camber. And I think that may help quite a bit. So right now, on some of the hillier sections, especially on the heavy braking, the car just really wants to get away from you. Like, okay, I gotta brake in a straight line here. There we go, okay. Yeah, so I just need to be very patient with the car. Had two major offs that would have been race-ending crashes in real life. Thankfully, this game does not do vehicle damage. Alright, nice and easy through here. Get a little bit of curb. A little bit of curb. Alright, let's try to get back in front of the ASL. Let's get at least a third place position. Alright, easy on the brakes, get the car turned in. Nice. Use a little bit of that banking to your advantage. Good, 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 good. Alright. We want to make sure we get a really, really good run out of this corner. Because then we're going on to a 1.3 mile, very, very long straight. Oh boy, a little bit on the stone corner exit. That's fine. Had to compensate there by getting off the throttle just a little bit. It will slow us down a fairly large amount, but that's okay. We managed to do that without spinning out. 5th and 6th are nowhere to be seen as well. They are way back there. We should definitely be much, much higher up. I think some vehicle setting adjustments are in order before we tumble down the rankings. All right, up to about 155. That's not bad. That's a decent top speed for this vehicle, especially because it is currently more or less stock. All right, easy on the brakes. Gradually slow down. There we go. Nice. All right, across the line. Nice, 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 nice. Not the best. Not the best. I had 2 major incidents there. Make sure we avoid that next race. There should be enough to upgrade the car again, though, which is good. Thankfully, lower tier vehicles upgrade faster, which does mean that they're able to become competitive much quicker. Which is good because right now we need more points than 124 per race. That is like very, very low ranking style points. We need a little bit more than that. All right. Oh, right. Vehicle settings. A little bit more alignment settings, I think. A little bit of tweaking on that. Dial this back. Camber angle. There we go. And unlock the rear diff just a tad, just a pinch. I think that should do us well. It's a shame I can't adjust the anti-roll bars. The anti-roll bars will be very, very useful to adjust as well. Because softening the rear R bars would help a lot with that instability. Especially on cornering. Be very, 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 very useful, but we can't adjust the R bars. All right, we're starting at the front. That's fine. Let's go. All right, give us the speed. I got the Subaru on our left. Both of us have about the same amount of horsepower. But thankfully, it's one of the downsides. I would love to see the AI like fully commit to high commitment corners like this high banked start to low end steering, as well as some of the other high commitment corners in this game. Be really, really fun. Having really, really close battles with the AI here on this track, because this track is a lot of fun to race on. It's a really, really good variety of corners, and it's one of the few sort of like permanent racing circuit style racing circuits in the game as well. I wish this game had more tracks like this. Cause I love my permanent style racing circuits. Really, really cool. Don't get me wrong, I like street circuits too. But like you need a good balance. And unfortunately this game is mostly street circuits. But yeah, this is stuff like this is very nice. Alright, easy around the corner. Gradually accelerate out of there. We don't want to break traction too quickly. Keep the car nice and smooth. Hi there. Please. I am trying to also give you space. This car is a little bit tricky to drive. slowly get back onto the throttle. There we go. Alright, brake just before the pea gravel, turn in. Use a little bit of throttle to kind of carry the slide through, because this car pretty much is just very, very slidey. We're sideways more often than we are straight on a lot of these corners. But if we can keep the speed, if we can keep the momentum through it, that's not too bad. Alright, through the tail. Through the tail of the kitty cat. Oh, this corner's gonna be fun, the backwards rally-on. It unsettles even sports cars, so I'm sure that our T-Bird, that is already kind of unstable, will actually handle it really, really well. Okay, I'm surprised. I am pleasantly surprised there. Perfect. Alright, use the grunt of the V8. Pull ahead. I said pull ahead. Why is the Subaru catching us? Oh boy. Easy, easy, easy. Alright, nice. There we go. Very, very good. Nice little easy through the hairpins on the mane of the lion, of the mane of the kitty cat. Not sure if that's supposed to represent a mane or if that's supposed to represent ears. But like if you look at the track map, it looks like a little, it looks kind of like a side profile sketch of like a cat. Like right now we're kind of on the chest, heading to the front legs. There we go. Nice. Alright, now we're going on to the belly of the kitty cat. The forbidden petting spot. The dangerous belly rubs, because you try to give a cat belly rubs, you'll oftentimes get lots of claws. Cats do not like belly rubs. But it's just, when you see them like that, you're like, oh, I want to pet the belly. But you can't pet the belly. The cats do not like being pet there. Now onto the back paws. Then we get onto the tail. The tail is a very, very tricky corner. Because it basically, oh gosh. Very, very sharp turn in there. Under braking. I was like full opposite lock as well. The tail is a really, really tricky corner, especially the back part of the tail. It starts out really, really tight, right here. And then it opens up pretty significantly. And the corner opens up even further. So you're basically sort of at your vehicle's limit, gradually accelerating, getting faster and faster through there. And then it all of a sudden quickly becomes much tighter as you go uphill as well. So it's basically the understeer central. You need to kind of shift the weight back towards the front of the wheels by sort of lifting off a little bit. Getting the car turning while you're already at your vehicle's sort of maximum G's. And you just need to get that all shifted forward. And it's difficult because it's already uphill as well. It's a very, very tricky corner complex, but bravo to the developers who created that. Like, that is a very, very fun corner complex as well. That's not bad. That's enough for a decent amount of points. It's enough for a decent amount of points. Let's see if we can get the 3.2 Quattro. It's been forever since we've got okay, never mind then. That car is going to forever be elusive to us. All right. At least we leveled up the T-Bird again. Give me some more power. Nice. Beautiful. Alright, 516. Alright, good. Our ranking increased a bit. Let's see what other events we have available to us. Ooh, the Vice Shogun Cup. It's on Autumn Mountain. It's an 8-lap race. We might have a shot at this. Let's do it. Okay, so this. Sorry about that. Is that working now? I am sorry. OBS decided to completely bugger out on me there. I gotta love when things don't work on the stream. Sorry about that. I am back. But yes, so the higher the ranking of the race is, the higher the performance other vehicles should be up against. Because one, you're already up against faster vehicles, and two, the higher the ranking, the more those vehicles are, the higher the level of those vehicles as well. Which is why oftentimes you'll see, if you try to start, an equal performance race, a 3.0 race, like a one-make race, and like a stock vehicle in the RS versus R3, you have a much harder time, not RS, and R1 versus R3, you have a much harder time in R1. Because these vehicles are usually going to be much, much faster, much grippier, even if it's the exact same vehicle. Which sort of leads to the higher risk, higher reward, because they also give you more points for performing well against similar opponents. So it is a little bit of risk versus reward. Of you got to sort of mentally calculate at what level can you compete, and can you compete against faster cars that are untuned versus slower cars that are tuned. And it's a whole lot of mental math you got to do and see what would net you the most amount of points. And you need basically a really, really good knowledge of roughly how fast your vehicle would be and how fast the opponent's vehicles would be at that level you're competing against. Like our T-Bird, while it's already considered the slowest vehicle, because it is it's a bit under-leveled, we are at an even bigger disadvantage. Because it is already a slower vehicle on the grid, we're at an even bigger disadvantage because it is also an under-leveled slower vehicle on the grid, which means fighting for position is tough. Corvette and T-Bird rivalry. Normally that was only the first generation for both of them. It's interesting to see that on track here with basically the 2000s versions of both of these cars. Although the Corvette and the T-Bird took drastically different life paths. The Corvette becoming a purebred sports car, and the T-Bird becoming sort of a personal luxury vehicle. But to be fair though, you do have to credit the T-Bird for the Corvette though, because if it wasn't for the T-Bird, Ford releasing the T-Bird in '55, their own sort of two-door V8 powered sporty-ish car, GM was actually considering pulling the plug on the Corvette. They didn't want to be seen as quitting right when Ford was creating the T-Bird, so they kept it along, and that allowed some of the engineers and designers like Zoro Dunkov to make the car a much more of a success, which is really, really cool. That's the thing though, even if you do not like your rivals, having rivals is always really, really good because it drives you, it pushes you to constantly try to improve, to constantly do better. And that's something you kind of have to respect them for. It's like if we didn't have Ferrari, we wouldn't have had the Ford GT or Lamborghini. In which case, I mean, Enzo Ferrari was at times his own worst enemy by being very, shall we say, an assertive man? Probably the most milquetoast way I can put it. Or the most polite way I can put it. A very, very blunt man as well. But because of that, because of his sort of arrogance, his bluntness, it angered both the Ford Motor Company and Ferruccio Lamborghini enough to fully, create their own high-performance vehicles, which is super, super, super cool. Alright, we need to get back in front of that RX-7. We do have a little bit of a power advantage, but that RX-7 is very, very fast in the corners. The lightweight rotary engine is allowing for a very maneuverable sports car in front of us. And we need to push easy. With the apex, slowly get back onto the throttle. There we go. If we can even get fourth, that is going to be a lot of points. Easy, easy. Yeah, we're slowly gaining back on the RX-7. Though through these twisty bits, we are losing a little bit of time. It's more so on the straights and on through some of the longer sweeping corners that we can really gain a lot of time. Decent, decent. Alright, watch yourselves. Alright, we're right up on them. This will be a fairly tough battle for the next couple of laps. If we can avoid any mistakes. We want to get a points paying position. Battle for the points. That's one thing I love about this game, though, is that even battles for fourth place are really, really exciting. Not when you do super stuff like that, though, Isaac. Way too early turning. Car is still very unstable in the braking. We need to make up some time now. Back down to third gear. We lost a lot of time through that mistake there. This is going to be a much slower lap. Let's get some time back. We've got 3 more laps to do that. Although now that's not looking nearly as certain. Five, 26. Okay, yeah, we were way off the pace that lap. Okay. Very smooth to that corner. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Nope, that's done it. Dang it. Okay, that was dreadful. That was dreadful. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, okay. Let's see how bad it's hurt us. Not atrociously. All right, next race. Let's try to get some good points. Let's do it. The Bergen Challenge, the rear-wheel drive race. We got this. We got this. Maybe. This car is still very, very unstable under heavy braking. Makes for just a little bit tricky cornering. It's also unstable over bumps. Alright, let's get that time back. I apologize, this car does not want to cooperate with me. Most corners I'm going full opposite lock. Just trying to keep it from spinning. I expected this more with the MR2. Not so much with the T-Bird of all cars. I think what we need to do is actually, because we keep getting as you can see with the inside tire turning red on cornering, we're kind of getting what's known as a one tire fire, where one side breaks traction, and because it's a more open differential, that side will keep spinning. I think if we lock the rear differential just a bit and adjust some of the toe a bit for understeer, I think we may actually have something we can work with. But regardless, let's get some points. Let's get a good position back. Because that was dreadful. Alright, let's get past the AMG. Alright, the rest of the pack is lining the stern, heading down the front straight, getting into the turn 1 now. We are going to be about 7 seconds behind, 8 seconds behind. 15 seconds behind, double that, okay. That's fine. That is fine. As long as we don't make any mistakes, we can at least get back up into 4th. Salvage a few points. Yeah, right now this car has not been fun to drive. To be fair, it was not designed as a sports car. It was designed basically as sort of a luxury specialty vehicle. That is why it is in the specialty class and not the sporty class. And oh boy. Nice and easy, there we go. Alright, onto the brakes. And it is full opposite lock, trying to get it into that corner. Because the rear of the car wants to be in the front. And the front of the car wants to be in the back. And that is not where I want it to be. Okay, 5th place. No points again. This is becoming a problem. This is becoming a big problem. Alright. That's not great. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Shake it off. We know what we need to do to fix it. So let's fix it. And let's get some victories. Hopefully. Hopefully. 2 points. Thank you, game. Yeah, nothing there. Yep, ranking has decreased. Oh boy, that is a lot of no non-points finishes. Toe angle. Let's actually do this. Switch that up a bit. Give us some more rear lock. We're actually going to soften up the rear just a tad. There we go. If we had our anti-roll bar adjustments, that would be the big thing you would choose to fix. We can't currently, which is fine. Alright, let's take it to Tsukuba. Oh, we have a chance to win the Audi TT. Can we actually win the Audi TT? Maybe, maybe not. It'll be like the 5th or 6th race if we fail to win it at this race. It'll be the 5th or 6th race in the past couple of streams that we have failed to win the Audi TT. It's one of the few cars of the higher performance vehicles we have left to unlock. We still have to unlock a lot of the slower cars, but some of the faster vehicles. Most of the faster vehicles we have unlocked. We just need to unlock some of like the really slow, like classic, like Japanese K cars and everything, like the Subaru 360 and stuff. All right, nice and easy. Hi there, I see you on my inside. That's the Evo, 4-wheel drive, lightweight rally legend. Turbocharged, about 270 horsepower. Evo 3. I actually really like the early Evos. Very nice looking. Yep, battling for position. A lot of touring car style, beating and banging, elbows out style racing. They had the inside on that corner. Let's get that position back. But yeah, the T-Bird is a lot more manageable now. It doesn't quite feel as swingy. It's still a little bit oversteery, but not nearly as much. And it does have a better launch out of the corners with the more locked rear differential, which is nice. Very nice. Alright, come on, we need to get back into the lead. Alright, minor sliding there. Say minor, I was full opposite lock, full in correction mode. This is a very slidey car. Very slippery bird. I say we manage to fix it, and then we do something like that. Damn it. Okay. That's fine. The T-Bird just is not cooperating with me. That's fine, we got 3 more laps to go. Let's at least try to get back in a second. Especially after that mistake. We lost a lot of time there by fishtailing out of the tight left-hand hairpin here. Alright, brake right around here. Want to use up the whole track. There we go. Very, very slidey into that left-hand turn under the Dunlop Bridge. Alright, come on, we need to catch up with that Tame Kiera. We are slowly catching up to them. We should be able to get a good second place finish if we can avoid any more of that. Okay. Getting just a little bit tilted with this car. Need to shake it off. It's a... Alright, we're not coming in fourth. We're at least going to get a podium finish. Like, come on now. But this is a little bit hectic. Other downside is because of these mistakes, we get mired in the mid-pack. And oftentimes have to defend against much faster opponents earlier in the race, which leads to us getting less points for upgrades. Which leads to us kind of getting stuck again, sort of in the mid-pack later and later, which is sort of a positive feedback loop. And that one mistake kind of can sometimes turn into many mistakes. But if you get a good string of good races, you can level up a car from level 1 to level 10, like in the snap of your fingers. So it is a little bit tricky. Trying to claw back from a string of bad results. Sometimes you just gotta take that L and keep going. Just like life, sometimes you gotta take that L in life. When life gives you L, sometimes you just gotta take that L and you just gotta push forwards. Yeah, so this will be a third place finish if we can avoid any more mistakes, any more hiccups. We could have had a very solid second place, but a couple mistakes let us down a position. Nice and easy. Slowly get back onto the throttle. There we go. We got a fastest lap on the final lap. That wasn't too bad, that final lap. But yeah, this car, oh my gosh. It's a tricky one. I was not expecting this one of all vehicles to be difficult. I was definitely expecting more so the Toyota MR2 to be the tricky one. And we at least finally got the TT Coupe, the 3.2 liter version. The 3.2 liter V6 version. Okay. Yeah, not enough for any upgrades. A modicum of points, but still not enough because our ranking is tumbling down. Tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down. Alright, let's soften the rear just a tad more. And let's dial the gear ratio back just a tad. And let's lock the rears just a bit more. And that should make a more stable, more planted vehicle, I think. I'm hoping. I am genuinely hoping. At this point, I have failed to figure out what exactly is causing this issue. American Car Limited Race. And we've won all the vehicles there. Let's see if we can't at least start trying to win some vehicles as well. The Pacific Challenge. Everything there has been unlocked. Nürburgring Challenge. Ooh. Civic Type R and a Lotus Europa. Yep, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. All right, here we go. Oh boy. Alright. Downside of starting right in the mid-pack though is this is gonna... Turn 1 is gonna be dreadful. They're just... Let's let them have their issues. And let's get past them on the straight. Man, it's a 3. It's like... It's like when you're on the highway and you have 2 people in front of you and they're just like they're both going the exact same speed. And you know you can pass them, but they're like, because they're doing like at or just slightly under the speed limit, and you're like, I want to pass you. One of you get past and move over. But they're like, nah, we're a herd of animals on the highway. So you sit behind them because you can't, unless you want to drive on the shoulder, which is very dangerous and very illegal. Don't drive on the shoulder, especially at highway speeds. But like, unless you want to do something stupid and illegal, you're stuck behind them because you can't pass, which is, you know, obviously very, very frustrating because you need to get to where you need to go, especially if you're heading to work or commuting. Totally not speaking from experience. I totally don't travel on a 2-lane highway to and from work by on many, many days anyway. And I totally don't have to deal with that on a near daily occasion. Nope, not at all. That's totally not internal rage slowly coming out. Yeah, no, the car is driving a lot better now. We'll see how it does on the bumpier sections on the Nordschleife. But right now the car is very, very good. I think we may have finally fixed the issues. I'm hoping. Because right now though, this car is brutally quick. Very, very planted, very smooth. Still a little bit of instability under braking. I shouldn't say anything about the vehicle handling at this point. Anytime I start saying, oh yeah, we're doing great, the car is perfect, it's handling really, really well, all of a sudden the rear end just decides, hey, you know what? Hey buddy, I heard you talking about me. I heard you were talking shit. Alright, let's give him what for. And it decides, hey, I'm gonna try to murder you now. It's been fun, but you know, gotta do what I gotta do. Basically drifting the entire way around Nordschleife though, still. Alright, nice and easy, nice and easy. There we go. Alright, we gotta watch ourselves through here. This is always a corner complex that trips me up. I wonder if getting onto the throttle just for a split blip can transfer the weight around and cause me to kind of shift and go at least to the left, even if I even if I oversteer like quite a bit. If that'll help, that may actually help. Right now we're doing really well. We're still in the lead, thankfully. Granted, this is a slightly easier race where it's I think only like a 2.5 odds, which is sort of slightly easier than if every vehicle, like if your vehicle was basically slightly better than the average of the field. It's at 3.0, your vehicle is basically right at the average performance of the field. 'Cause that's the odds at a one make race. One is like basically if you do not win this, something seriously wrong happened, or there is a vehicle that is so slow that it is skewing everyone towards basically a 1 or a 2, which I have seen races like that as well, where everyone else is much faster than you, but the first place car is like a Honda, a Mazda Carol or a Subaru 360 or something like that. A car that is so slow that you basically cannot hope to win against it. I mean, hope to lose against it, because it is just so slow. So basically, you're like, oh, well, this is actually going to be a really tricky event to get points. And if we do get points, it's going to be so low because it's been artificially devalued by the really slow car. That being said, on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you know you can be very competitive against basically 4 out of the other 5 vehicles, but one of them is like, you know, a super car, like a, you know, the Bugatti, the Dower EB110, or the Mercedes SLM McLaren or the Ford GTU or something, that is a good race to do in a slower vehicle, because that can get you so much points. Whereas if you're in sort of a mid-range vehicle, you want vehicles that are also mid-range around your region, or you want a much closer field split of vehicles that are just a little bit faster than you, so that you can still reasonably compete against them. But it's not going to be skewed one way or the other, because in the mid-range vehicles, the points is very swingy, because there's some vehicles that are going to be a little bit faster than you, there's going to be some vehicles that are a little bit slower than you, and basically just depending on the RNG, it's whether or not you'll be competitive. You know, if it's going to be an easy event, it's going to be a hard event, it's going to be a lot of points, not a lot of points. The mid-range vehicles are the most difficult ones to sort of level up fully, because you really need to know like the strengths and weaknesses of pretty much every vehicle you're going to be up against. Especially the upper mid-range vehicles. That's when it gets really tricky to maintain ranking. Like your Nissan Skylines, your Subaru Imprezas, your NSXs, because there isn't a whole lot that's faster than them, and everything that is faster than them is like supercar tier as opposed to sports car tier. So you're basically left either competing against opponents that you have very minimal chance of beating, or you're stuck in lower points paying events. Which is why for those you just really need to keep pushing for really need to keep pushing for those RS events, because those at least inflate the value of the points with the race difficulty. So even if the odds aren't that high and you only finish like 2nd or 3rd, that's tricky, a little bit annoying. But even if the odds are, you know, aren't that high and you finish 2nd or 3rd, you can still get quite a lot of points, because the RS events do pay big points if you can get points. But we should, unless the RX-8 has very good straight line speed, which, I mean, it's got a 250 horsepower 3-rotor run assist engine, so it's more of a handling focused car than anything else. I'm not too worried about it, or unless we majorly make a mistake going into the turn, the final couple of corners. It's gonna be interesting. A baby blue T-Bird at 115 miles an hour on a German toll road. Very nice. Alright, a little bit of brakes. Slow the car down, but we don't want the weight to transfer too much towards the front. There we go. Better. Very controlled. That's exactly what we need. And there we go, across the line. The T-Bird actually also shares the same, the 11th generation T-Bird also shares the same platform as the Lincoln LS as well, and shows a lot of the same interior components also, which is really, really cool. It's interesting seeing like the sibling vehicles that share a lot of the same similar components and everything, and see how they differ as well throughout the development process. From a purely engineering perspective, it's really, really cool. Because obviously, you don't want to reinvent the wheel as well, but you also want to make sure the vehicles are differentiated from each other and aren't too you know, similar and kind of take away from the market share of the other vehicle. So it is very, 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 very interesting seeing what platforms get shared, what engines and everything like that get shared and everything. Really nice. We got the Lotus Europa Special. Very cool car. Oh, lots of points. There we go. That should be enough for 2 levels. Hopefully. Please be enough for 2 levels. Yes, good. That should really improve the handling of the car. Grippier rubbery boys. Yeah, ranking number is still decreasing. That's okay. Hopefully, we can fight. We can fight. Do you have a chance to win? As long as we don't spin the vehicle. As long as we don't spin like a top, we should be good. Alright, let's see what the Pacific Challenge, let's see what's here. Alright, no vehicles to unlock there. Let's see if we can't unlock any more vehicles as well. No vehicles to unlock there. American Car Limited Race. I don't think there'd be any vehicles. Oh! Yep, Camaro. We want to win the Camaro. Let's improve our American car collection. Plus also we get a chance to race against the Viper on a city street circuit, which would be the Thunderbird versus the Viper. No Cobra, but that would have been cool. A bird versus 2 snakes. Oh, we are up against a horse though. In the Mustang. Oh, Camaro is still to the inside of us. Now let's go down a gear. Need a little bit of torque on the uphill section. Very, very... Oh dear. Okay, we still need to do some heavy braking at times. Because otherwise the car is gonna have some issues like there. Now let's get back up in front of the Camaro. Not the biggest fan of the 4th generation Camaros. It looks just a little bit too rounded. And it looks very, very different compared to all the other generations of Camaros. It's sort of during GM's like bubble streamline era. Which on one hand it looks kind of nice and like in drag getup and everything. But on the other hand, it doesn't look like a Camaro. It looks kind of vaguely just roundish or late 90s, early 2000s American car. Whereas at least when the Ford Mustang got rounder, it still looked relatively Mustang-ish. Didn't quite look like a lawn dart on wheels. That being said, a lot of the other generations of Camaro I do quite like the styling of. Especially the 2nd generation of Camaros. There's a lot of really, really cool looking 2nd gen Camaros. Alright, brake around 175 marker range. Get it turned in just a little bit. Okay, curbs are bad. Curbs are bad. Curbs are very bad. Okay, note to self, avoid the curbs like the plague. Now let's get some of these positions back. We can fight at least. And plus, first place is currently a C3 Corvette, which isn't exactly known for its handling prowess either. Get a faster line through the chicane, use that momentum past the Mustang, get into the slipstream of the Camaro. Over the crest, start braking right here. Mustang's diving on down the inside. No way that was gonna work. Alright, that is definitely a 3rd gear corner. 2nd gear will cause just a little bit too much wheel spin. 3rd gear, the car will bog down just a bit, but you can handle it. trying dive bomb. Dive bomb past the Camaro. Alright, good, we made it stick. We made that pass stick. Corvette is 5 seconds ahead of us. That was bad. Corvette's gonna be much further ahead now. Probably about 6 seconds ahead. That was a very, very slow corner section. Yep, 6 seconds almost exactly. We get 1 lap to make up 1.5 laps to make up 6 seconds. Alright, breaker on the 75 meter mark. Okay. That's fine. Managed to minimize the damage done there. I want to brake a little bit further back. Do not hit the curb. This car still does not like sudden changes in weight transfer caused by curbs or other rough terrain. That is still very, very deadly in the car. Okay, 9 seconds. I don't think we'll be able to make up 9 seconds, especially if we keep doing that. I thought we had the vehicle fixed. I am Spinella. Spinella. It is... To be fair, my favorite driver is Sebastian Vettel. I am emulating my hero. We're gonna get no points in this one. Glad that didn't count as an off-track excursion. Alright, here we go. We got this. We got this. We got this. I think maybe the suspension might actually be set just a little bit too stiff, which is where the curbs are causing issues. So, I think if we soften the suspension a bit, yeah, I think we may have gone a little bit too far towards stiffening it up because it is. It seems right now it's now just a lot of like the sudden. Sudden terrain changes are causing the issues with the vehicle. That was a dreadful final lap. That's fine. That's fine. We got this. Let's see if we're at least able to win the Camaro Z28. Hopefully. Alright. This wasn't all bad. We got a good vehicle out of there. I like how they didn't use the 11 points. Thanks, game. 128 points. Yeah, that's gonna hurt our ranking some more. As long as we can keep it within 50, we'll be fine. But this is getting really difficult. All right, let's go to the garage settings. I think the vehicle is bottoming him out just a bit as well. Alright, there we go. That should help. That should help with more, more rougher courses. That's what the Europe Grand Prix is, like 8.3. We don't have a good shot there. Under 4-liter race. Let's see what we have here. Let's do it. We'll be up against the roof. The roof is probably going to blow us away completely, because it is a very, very fast car. It's basically just shy of supercar territory. But yeah, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. But it is also gonna be starting in the back in a track that is a little bit difficult for the AI to pass each other, especially if most of the AI is relatively quick. I say that the roof has already gone up in a second. All right, is the game gonna prove me wrong anymore? All right, it's at least semi-stable over the curbing now. Let's make sure we win this race. That's the redemption arc. Come on, redemption arc time. Got the Jaguar XKR behind us. So a Jaguar powered car followed by a Jaguar powered car. Because yes, this T-Bird was powered by a Jaguar AJ8 Series V8 motor. As is the Jaguar behind us as well. The one behind us, I believe, is the supercharged version, so it makes quite a bit more power. But it is a similar engine platform. Because Ford like to do a lot of platform sharing, a lot of resource sharing during the time period. Because it did help cut costs on the vehicle development, so they could have a lot of vehicles, but not a lot of money. Oh boy, easy. A little bit of a nice slide through that corner. All right, now for the big test. Now for the big litmus test of vehicle stability. How well will it handle going through the chicane here? If there's any other vehicle instabilities, this will be where... Alright, so there's a little bit of instability going down over the crest. The rear end still wants to kick out away from you, but it's a little bit salvageable compared to previously. Very, very high speed right-hand sweeper. Little bit of curve there. Car is able to handle the curve much better. Good. Carry that speed on the uphill section. We need the speed out of that corner for this uphill section. That's why I like clipping that curve. So I can take a better line through there. Or at least carry a little bit more speed through the corner. A little bit of curve here, a little bit of curve here. You definitely want to be able to ride the curves on the Pacific Challenge course. So that does allow you to kind of straighten out some turns, carry just a little bit more speed through them. Sort of like if you've seen any of the Australian supercars races at Surfers Paradise, throughout the chicanes, a lot of the drivers, especially a lot of the fast drivers, really hop up on the curbs. And basically you see a massive, well at the time, 4-door, touring car. Now they're 2-doors based on the Ford Mustang and Chevrolet Camaro, but at the time, 4-door Ford and Commodores and Ford Falcons, bouncing up on the 2 wheels throughout basically these chicanes, these S-curves and everything, which is super, super cool, because it's a city street circuit right on the coast. Really, really fun. And IndyCar before the 08 financial crash, IndyCar used to race there as well quite a bit. And that was always a blast to watch the races on the TV. Because basically, the course itself was not really designed for open wheel cars. It basically kind of became a bit of an endurance test on the drivers and the cars because of how much that course beat and banged those cars around. But it was cool though, because you basically see the drivers try to adapt the strategy to a course that just absolutely destroyed their cars. which is really, really, really cool. And because there wasn't a whole lot of places for overtaking, it made the overtake attempts all that much more exciting, because basically it was do or die, now or never, which is really cool. IndyCar should do a sort of an invitational event thing, where basically I think they should do something should be called like the Series Exchange program, where IndyCar does sort of an opening, sort of becomes a feeder race for an Australian touring car, for the Australian touring supercar series in Australia. Let's say maybe Adelaide or Phillip Island or something like that, or Surfers Paradise again. And then the Australian supercars becomes sort of an opening race in America for IndyCar. Maybe at like another street circuit like the Music City Grand Prix in Tennessee, or maybe even Long Beach. Although Long Beach's schedule already is very, very, very packed because IMSA race is there. But maybe the IndyCar race at Portland, that would be a good one. So again, it's very, very quick, very high intensity laps at the Portland International Raceway. So that could be very, very, very fun. And it'd be cool. It'll be a cool way to kind of reintroduce the series into sort of foreign markets again as well. Pretty nice. But that may just be a pipe dream. Would be cool though. Sort of a throwback of sorts to when IndyCar was sort of an opening sort of extra race at the Surfers Paradise track. Okay, we did not get the RAGT. That car has also been very, very elusive towards us. But there we go, that is a lot of points. That's good. Level it up. Nice. Alright, power is increased. Good. Lots of points there. Our ranking's been maintained. Alright. We're probably gonna lose a lot of ranking for this RS race. But let's see. Maybe, yeah, we don't have a good race we can be competitive in. We have a chance to win that Civic Type R. Let's see first what this under 4-liter race is. Yep, 2 NSXs and a Roof Turbo R. Yeah, no, we don't have a good shot at that. Let's do the low end steering challenge. We'll at least try to win. We'll at least try to win the Civic Type R. All right, let's do this. Let's get this car. Let's get this car up to level 10. And let's at least try to get the second car, the next car that we obtain up to a decent level as well. Maybe the level 10 as well. May as well. We can at least try that. Yeah, thankfully the early stages of this race at low end steering is always fairly easy because of the AI's lack of commitment into that into the bank turn, which does allow for easier points. But outside of that, I do enjoy driving on this course because I really enjoy driving a lot on the the permanent racing circuits and stuff. Which is why I also so frequently race on the Nordschleife and Tsukuba as well. Because those, are also very, permanent racing circuits and everything. And they feel much different compared to all the street circuits that the game has. Easier on the hairpin. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Alright, here we go. We got this. Very, very good lead so far. Let's make sure we keep that lead. Brake just a fraction before the pea gravel on the right-hand side. So a little bit of the curb on the exit. Get back to this, the second half of the turn. Very, very nice. So the car is a lot more manageable now. Very, very smooth, very good to drive now. I think we definitely set the car a little bit too low and a little bit too stiff. But yeah, this is definitely a lot better now. Very, very good. Alright, through backwards rally-on. Very nice, very smooth. Managed to keep that all nice and controlled. Nice. Alright, next lap. There we go. Very good. Alright, let's make sure. Make sure we do not make any mistakes. Make sure we keep our car nice and smooth. Under the Dunlop bridge. It's so cool to have your bridge designed as a tire. That's really cool branding. Jeez, full opposite lock. Come on, go, 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 go. Full throttle, get out of the pea gravel. Now that's gonna hurt us a bit in terms of getting enough points to level up the vehicle earlier. Now we need to fight with this guy behind us. Yeah, R33 GTR, very fast, inline 6-cylinder engine, 280 horsepower, 4-wheel drive. It's a, you know, Japanese legend, of course. It's weird that the R33 gets, compared to the R32 and the R34, the R33 sort of is like the middle child, where it doesn't quite get as much recognition as the other the R32 or the R34. But the R33 is also still a very, very nice vehicle as well, and should not be trifled with. It is still a very, very fast car. But it is interesting that that one is the one that's oftentimes forgotten and left out. Like even the new Need for Speed games, like they have the R32 and they have the R34, but they don't have the R33. It's like the S14 Sylvia as well. A lot of racing games, a lot of tuning games will have the S15 and the S13 of some sort, but they'll completely forget any S14s as well. Very, very, very interesting. Oh boy, understeer. Keep the car steady. Oh boy, that was very close. Wow. There we go, across the line. 3 minutes dead on. And that second lap was not great for us. But the vehicle was slowly getting better through upgrades and also through finally kind of understanding the suspension setups. We are not winning any vehicles. Good. That's a level up. Give me the upgrades. Nice. Alright, it's gonna be very, very lightweight. Good braking, good cornering. Oh, yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. We have some ground to make up. We have some major ground to make up for that ranking. Oof. Alright, let's see the novice challenge. Oh yeah, we can actually potentially win some vehicles here as well. We're gonna be replacing an event that we got 0 points in anyway, so any little bit helps. So let's go for some new vehicles as well. Let's try to unlock some new vehicles. Besides, obviously you guys have seen my driving. I am very much a novice. I prefer the term enthusiastic idiot for myself. Alright, let's win this. 2 laps race around Rev City. That's one thing I wish this game would do more though, is have a better spread. Because there is a decent variety to the circuits they have in the game. But some circuits are relegated to the earlier rankings, and some circuits are relegated to the much later rankings. Whereas if you had a better balance throughout, and a better mix throughout, I think you wouldn't quite get the same repetition of tracks. Especially if you're going for maintaining a very, very high, very high ranking. Because like the Rev City, Marco Strata, and everything, they only really show up in like the first 3 stages. Whereas, and then of course Tsukuba only shows up in like the later 3 stages. Bergenschutz kind of shows up around the middle. Occasionally, if there's like a German car race or something, it'll show up in the final stage. Otherwise, yeah, it's very, very, very strange. I don't quite agree with that game design. I think they should have changed it up. If I had a time machine, I could go back and kind of influence the development of this game, as well as actually influence the public's perception of the game, because like, this game is a lot of fun. It's about as close as you can get to an actual sim on the PlayStation 2. I mean, even compared to Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo is a good racing game and a good vehicle game as well. But in terms of vehicle handling and how vehicles feel at the limit, Enthusia is just a bit more realistic. Gran Turismo, the cars have a tendency just to be very, very grippy, but very heavy and understeery. Whereas in Enthusia, the vehicles kind of are a little bit squirrelier. But they're also a little bit more, a little bit lighter, a bit more responsive as well. Which is why, in terms of driving, like the overall better game is, of course, the Gran Turismo series 3 and 4. But in terms of actually driving and feeling like you're driving, you're actually behind the wheel of the car, for a PlayStation 2 game, Enthusia is a bit better. So really, you can really kind of feel and visualize how the weight transfer is affecting the vehicle. Where your limits of grip are, and it's pretty believable. Nice. There we go. Cross the line. Nice. Alright, hopefully we can actually win a vehicle though, because otherwise we got 15 points for nothing. Sweet! The Sports 800. Little itty bitty Boxer 2-cylinder. 2-cylinder? Boxer 2-cylinder, I believe. Little itty bitty Toyota sports car. Very, very nice. Very fun car. We leveled up the car as well. We'll level up some tuning. Good. Tires are up. 15 points. Even then, that counts because we had so many DNFs. So we can actually go for another low tier race and still improve our ranking by a little bit. So let's see what else we have. Rear-wheel drive limiter race at Autumn Hill. We have, oh my gosh, we didn't actually unlock either the Sprinter Treno or the 2000 GT yet. Okay, let's do it. We need to unlock some of these cars as well. Yes, some of the slower vehicles we haven't really unlocked a whole lot of. We've unlocked a lot of the faster, sportier vehicles. We definitely need to focus on unlocking some of the slower cars as well. We just power past them. This is what it feels like when you're actually in like a car that is so much faster than most of your opponents. The race becomes just super trivial. But it's a lot of fun that way too. I should have quickly level up your car as well, because basically you have a very clean race with the victory bonus. Like, it's very, very nice. The fastest lap bonus as well, so it's an extra like 20 points there. Which does add up. There we go, across the line. Very nice. Alright. Nonetheless nice. The car is still very, very squirrely. Not best in terms of handling. Easy. Alright, 51. Very quick lap times though. Very, very, very quick lap times. Alright, nice and easy. Keep the speed up. Do the tunnel section. Eight, 9, nice sub 50-second lap time, very good. We're gonna be lapping some of the opponents as well. The little Honda Beats and the Datsun 510s. Little bit of beating up the beat. Alright, little bit onto the brakes, back on the throttle, there we go. Very good, very good. Nice. Oh my gosh, we might actually lap the entire field. No, we're not. There's actually someone in second place. That's quite a ways ahead. I didn't notice them. We lap most of the field. We lap pretty much everyone on the field except for one. Wow. Way to turn down the difficulty, Isaac. Bravo. But still, we have a chance now of actually winning a vehicle and not completely tanking our rankings, because we have already tanked our rankings just a little bit. Come on. 2000, I mean, either one of these will actually be very, very nice cars, but I want to get the 2000 GT. Well, I'll settle for the Treno as well. The Treno is a very, very nice car. You got that, you know, initial D street racing aesthetic going on. Very, very good car as well. There we go. Car is level 10. Finally. Nice. Perfect. 30 points. Yeah, our ranking has increased by a little bit. All right, let's change our car. So I'm kind of I'm a little bit fed up with the the T-Bird. Alright, now we're gonna go for a sporty vehicle. We have 4 vehicles to choose from. Number 1 being the Honda Beat, number 4 being the Acura Integra Type R. Let us choose 4. Alright, we get the Teggy. Very nice. 200 horsepower. K20 engine. Very, very nice in the championship white as well. I mean, it's nice in the sunlight yellow as well. I like my Type R's in that championship white. Yeah, our rankings decreased. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But here we go. We've got an Integra Type R. Very, very nice. It's the Japanese version as well because it's got the instead of the 4 round headlights, it's got the 2 wide headlights instead. All right, I think we should do some vehicle adjustments real quick. Just a little bit. Stiffen up the rears just a tad. I know the car itself already has a fairly aggressive style back, the differential just a little bit. I don't like a whole lot of front differential. Let's enter the Type R race with a chance to win a Civic Type R as well. Let's do it. Finally, a vehicle that uses a clutch as well. It's been forever since we've had a vehicle with clutch. Finally. Oh, the sound already is very nice. Revving up to 9,000 RPMs. I love the old Honda inline 4s. Just the sheer insanity of having an RPM, a red line that high on a non-rotary engine is just really, really cool. VTech has indeed kicked in, brethren. Wish we got more Type Rs in the States, though. Like, Japan got all the cool Type Rs. Back when Honda, back there in the 90s and early 2000s, Honda was pumping out Type Rs left, right, and center. America didn't really get a whole lot of the Type Rs. Which is a shame. I wish we did. I still got a little bit of understeer, but I'll take that after the Ford, after the very, very tail-happy Thunderbird. And besides, this still has just a little bit of lift-off oversteer. That was prevalent on a lot of the Type R, front-wheel drive Type Rs. So basically, you kind of use the throttle to kind of off-throttle, kind of gets the car to turn in, and you get back on the throttle to kind of pull yourself out of the slide just a little bit, and you use that to kind of control your way through the corners. Slowly get back onto the throttle. There we go. Oh, and the sound of this car as well. It sounds so nice. It's getting some really good lap times. This one I imagine will be pretty quick to level up, just with the sheer performance of it. It's just handling the road so well. I say that, big understeer going to that corner, even when lifting off and going onto the brakes. But still, very nice, very good. I think I'm probably just pushing the car just a little bit too hard as well. Should probably back off just a tad. Bump. Alright, little bump on the wall there. That's fine. Minor contact like that won't be too detrimental towards the progress of leveling this vehicle up. But still. Decent enough, decent enough. Keep up the speed. I think we got the NSX Type R behind us. We're somehow giving that a good run for its money. This car is very, very nice. Very, very good. On to the final lap. Look at that. That is such a cool car. Love my Enthusia Type R's. It's a shame a lot of racing games treat front-wheel drive as being like very, very super understeery, will never turn on a dime, super sluggish. Like, no, front-wheel drive can still be very, very quick. Not quite as quick as rear-wheel drive, of course, with a few exceptions like in the snow and rain and other bad conditions. But like front-wheel drive, if tuned right, can still be very, very good in the corners. Like there was a reason for a while why the Dodge Neon was like a very, very popular car for grassroots motorsports, especially the Neon RT or the Neon ACR versions, because those were just very, very lightweight, fast front-wheel drive cars, very compact as well, short wheelbase. So if you stiffen up the rear suspension a lot and adjust the toe just right, you can really get them to kind of turn in a lot on the lift-off oversteer and then use the throttle to kind of pull it out of the slide. And you're basically almost kind of reverse drifting around the entire track. But you can really, really get some good speed like that. Especially once you start playing with aero. Then you can do some really, really cool tricks of getting the car to be very, very, very oversteery in the slow corners and but stable in the higher speed corners. Get that all set up right. It's really, really cool. If you get a chance at like an IMSA race or whatever, you got to see how they set up, you know, those TCR cars. Because the way they set up is really, really cool. Kind of, you get to see the thought process behind it. But nice, very, very good. Very, very good lap times. Very, very fast race. Very clean race. And we have a chance to win an EP3 Civic Type R. I still love the EK9s are still my favorite of the Civic Type Rs. But the EP3 is nice too. And there we go, lots of points right from the start. That'll be good. That'll be enough to level us up. Very, very, very good, very clean race. Nice. Vehicle's already just a little bit faster, and it's gonna get even quicker. Boom, our ranking has shot forward as well. I do want just a little bit more turn-in though. So let's stiffen this up just a tad. And let's unlock the front just a little bit. And there we go. That should help. High speed battle. Don't quite want that. Japanese car limited race. Let's see what we have here. Ooh, we have a chance to win an R34. Let's do it. Jaguar versus R34. R34 is much heavier than us, but it does have that four-wheel drive and it does have about 80-ish more horsepower. We do have a very, very high revving, very responsive front-wheel drive inline four-cylinder though, so we have a fighting chance. Let's do this. Alright, let's get past the stage A. There we go. Nice, beautiful championship white car amidst the fall leaves. Really, really cool contrast there. Oh, the reverberations in the tunnels. Very nice. Very good. Come on. We got this. We got this. Very smooth. The GTR isn't even close behind us yet. Really, really taking it to them. Alright, GTR is about a second and a half behind. It's going to gain a little bit of time on the straight. We should be able to outmaneuver it again on the twisty bits. Aw, oh, come on, you beautiful Type R. Lead us to victory. Ooh, you gain very quickly. Hi there. Alright, you're about... Oh boy, you're going for it. Alright, fine. Then you lead. I'll pressure. I'll pressure from behind. We'll get that place back. We got this. I'm actually in a car I'm confident in. And a car that I'm confident in won't immediately turn around and try to murder me. It's responsive, the handling is so good. Yeah, this is a lot better. Alright, come on, let's try to get that place back. That GTR is very, very quick though. Come on. We got this. We got this. If anything else, we'll have a very, very solid second place finish because, let's be honest, third and fourth are nowhere near us. Easy on the brakes, easy on the brakes. Get it turned in. Yeah, we're losing a little bit on that GTR. We are pulling away from third. This will be a very, very solid second place finish if we can hold it together. We have 2 more laps. Yeah, that GTR is just a little bit too fast for us, unfortunately. We fought valiantly against it. We managed to hold off for about a lap or so, and then keep with it for another lap. But it is, now that nothing is in its way, it is pretty much steamrolling the competition. Hello, good to see you. Hope you're doing well today. Right now, we had a lot of issues earlier trying to control a Ford Thunderbird. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. Right now we are in the beautiful. Do you enjoy the game? I enjoy this game a lot. Oh my gosh, this game is a lot of fun. It's probably one of my. It's definitely up there on sort of my favorite racing games on the PlayStation 2. Very, very fun. It is a bit challenging though. It is a bit difficult. As you watch a bit of the earlier parts of the stream, you will see that. Some of the vehicles in the game are very, very slidey. They do want to slide out on you. Right now we're driving the very, very nice, very responsive Acura Integra Type R. Released during the late 90s, like 98, so that's 95 to 1998, roughly around that time period. It's powered by a little inline 4-cylinder, very, very high revving inline 4-cylinder engine, producing about 220-ish horsepower, give or take. Very, very fast car, despite it being front-wheel drive. And right now we are in second place, only losing to essentially a Japanese sporting legend that is the Nissan Skyline R34 GTR, which is essentially like one of the like top tier Japanese sports cars, and that is the only car we are really losing against. Every other vehicle we are handily beating in this race. Across the line, nice. A solid second place finish, despite being pegged as only the third slowest vehicle. I definitely love this game. In fact, F-Zero! Yes. Oh my gosh. The F-Zero games. I love the F-Zero games. It's been a while since I've played them. But I used to have the original F-Zero. Was the original F-Zero? I remember having an F-Zero game on the Super Nintendo, and it was so difficult, but it was so much fun. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. What was the one on the Super Nintendo? Yeah, I think it was the first F-Zero that I remember playing a lot. I played a lot on the Super Nintendo, and it was so much fun. It was so difficult though, because you had to kind of really avoid a lot of the other drivers and everything like that, so your car wouldn't blow up. And especially in the later races where they got more track hazards and everything, it's very, very difficult, very tricky. Alright, our ranking has been maintained. That's fine. Now let's enter another race. Let's see what other vehicles, if we can win anything else. Alright, Tsukuba Circuit Challenge. Alright, nothing we can win there. We've already won all of those cars. Let's look at the front-wheel drive limited race. Everything has been won there. the Victoria Road Challenge. Ooh, we have a shot at the Victoria Road Challenge. We can win a Mazda RX-7. Powered by a twin rotary engine. Rotary engines are really, really cool because instead of using pistons, they use essentially what's known as rotors. Basically, elliptic triangles, sort of a rounded triangle. And instead of going up and down like pistons, it's the rotor spins around and it creates the combustion that way. And essentially for every rotation of the engine, you get 3 combustion cycles as opposed to just half of a combustion cycle for every rotation of the engine per rotor, which is really, really cool. That's how it's able to make a lot of power despite having a very, very low displacement. On the other hand, though, it does not get the best fuel economy for if you compare it to other engines of the same displacement as well, because having more combustion cycles per revolution of the engine means you're burning more fuel per revolution of the engine as well. That and the rotaries did burn oil quite a bit as well, which is not a good thing, because it means you had to keep kind of filling up the engine with oil as well, otherwise for proper lubrication. But yeah, I love my rotaries. I love my spinny Doritos. To be fair, there's very, very, very few cars that I don't like. I just have to say though, I have to do a few things. Have a good night. Oh, thank you. Hopefully you have a great night as well. Yeah, but we have a very, very good lead right now on this track. Ooh, a little bit squirrely. Little bit difficult through some of the corners. All right, back to the left. Oh, alright, little bit of nudge on the corners. That's not good. Want to make sure we keep the race nice and clean, so we can win. So we can keep upgrading our very, very fast Integra. That is one of the downsides of the game, or at least the downside of the way I'm currently playing the game, is that vehicles that I enjoy quite a bit and do well with, I don't get to play with them too much because because usually with that you get very, very clean races and you're able to level up very, very quickly. So you move on to the next vehicle before you kind of really had your fill. But on the vehicles that are much more tricky for me to drive, I have to drive them a lot more because I'm making more mistakes with them, which is a little bit interesting. Does make things just a bit difficult. That was a big mistake there. My apologies. I tried to cut that corner way too tight, and I just crashed headfirst right into the apex of the corner. We have a very big lead though. Like, oh my gosh, this is a little bit sad actually. After being mired in the mid-pack for so long in the T-Bird, this is a little bit of the opposite problem of being kind of stuck. Being kind of stuck a bit with very, very easy victories. Oh gosh, understeer. Big understeer. Alright, that was a mistake on my part. Let's make sure we don't do that again. Over the jump. A little bit of the brakes. Oh, that counted as touching the wall. That's unfortunate. That is very... He just barely grazed the wall. Alright, here we go. 8, 9, 50, 51. Nice. Bump. Bump. Alright, are we able to win the Savannah? Are we able to win the RX-7? We are not getting lucky with these vehicles. Oh well, that means something else to keep shooting for. Something else to keep striving to win. Nice, power is increased. I think we can definitely go to level 10 in this vehicle. Nice, good. Our ranking has improved. Alright, we can probably go for a very, very easy event and try to unlock another vehicle. Because we'll be replacing one of the ooh, 7.3. Oh, because of all the NSXs and GTRs and everything we'll be against. Well, let's see what else we'll be up against. Here, let's see if we can win. Yeah, there's a lot of vehicles we can win here. Novice challenge. This one has much less vehicles we can win. Okay. Naturally aspirated limited race. This one only really has the Hyundai Tiburon. Tiburon being I forget what language, but it means shark. Don't quote me on that. Ooh, we can win the 300 SL here. Let's actually go. We'll make race. Broken structure challenge. Front-wheel drive limited race. Let's see what we have here. All right, nothing to unlock there. Naturally aspirated limited race. Yeah, let's try to win the Citroen Saxo. Alright, lot of good variety of vehicles here. Let's win that Saxo. The Saxo is quite nice as well because it is sort of a lower tier hot hatch. Ford T-Bird actually had a very, very good lead, very good start as well. But let's make sure we get past that. There we go. Back up into the lead. Nice and easy, nice and easy. Now we're up way into the lead. Ow. I gotta watch turning in too early here. We wanna make sure we get a very, very good, very solid amount of points in terms of leveling up the vehicle. Alright, come on. Not the best first lap. Let's get a much faster second lap. Let's go. Big push. Nice. Very good. Very good. Good so far. We're doing really, really well. I'm just really enjoying this Integra Type R. Very, very fast. Very fun to drive. One of the first cars we get to drive on the next stream on Saturday when Need for Speed Underground will also be another Integra Type R. Be very, very fun. Looking forward to that as well. And then we get to pick our own car. I'm not sure which of the 5 vehicles, which of the 5 starting cars in Need for Speed Underground 1 I should pick. I usually pick the Miata, because the Miata can kind of really take you well into late game as well. Whereas the front-wheel drive cars, after a little bit, right around early mid-game, once you start getting a decent amount of power, they start not becoming really, really useful in drag races because of the sheer amount of wheel spin they get off of the line. It does make it really, really difficult. To consistently use a lot of the front-wheel drive cars throughout the entire career mode of Underground 1. The front-wheel drive cars are still very, very very useful in like the circuit and sprint races and everything. And actually, some of them are actually top tier in terms of like, you know, circuit racing, like lap times and stuff. But they're just not useful in drag racing, and I usually try to keep the same vehicle all the way through the game. So I may go Miata again. I'm not too sure. Plus I like Miatas as well. Miata is always the answer. Even when there's no question asked, Miata is always the answer. Nice. We got the Citroen Saxo. Very, very nice. Very, very similar to the Renault 106 Rally. Actually, I think it's the same chassis. But it's still a very, very nice car. There we go. Ooh, alright, double upgrade. Good. Good. Alright, good. Our rankings improved just a little bit. Alright, now let's enter a little bit tougher race. Let's see what we have available to us. Tsukuba Circuit Challenge. That's possible. That's possible. Got the front-wheel drive limited race. Another decent race we can enter. Pacific Challenge. Anything we have here? Honda Cup. We've kind of won a lot of the Honda cars. I think we should do the Tsukuba Circuit Challenge. This is gonna be a little bit tricky. But with the front-wheel drive, with the enhanced grip of the front-wheel drive, we should be able to outmaneuver some of these rear-wheel drive cars, especially in the wet. So I think we should try it. Plus, our car itself is already pretty heavily modified. Alright, the Mercedes is getting a good launch off the line. Alright, Viper's behind us now. Oh boy, very venomous, very twitchy snake. Hey, really? Can you not dive bomb me, AI? That was very rude. Like, I even had the inside line and everything, and he just came crashing through. Like that is a penalty for avoidable contact. Someone black flag this Aston Martin. Oh man, they're gonna really pull away on the straights though. That's not good. I'm hoping with them constantly fighting it out that they can cause issues for each other. And maybe one of them can have an off-course excursion or two. Or at the very least, they both slow each other down so we can be within striking distance the entire race. So now we're about 3 seconds behind. And that Aston and the Viper are just constantly fighting with each other. Like any possible overtaking spot, that Aston is trying to go for the overtaking line. The Viper is having none of it, being able to pull way ahead on the straights. Like right there, you see it again. But even then, even with them fighting it out, they are leagues above our vehicle performance. We're setting very, very good lap times though. But it is not quite fast enough to handle these two high performance beasts. But a good third place position will still give us plenty of points. And besides, I get to race on Tsukuba, which I love racing on Tsukuba anyway. Alright, 4th place is behind us, but we still have a decent amount of, a decent stopgap between us and them. But right now we're in a little bit of a no man's land. Different than a no man's sky. But still equally empty. Nice and easy. Keep the speed up. Keep the momentum up. Yeah, very consistent lap times. Right around the 111s. Which is very good. If we can keep consistent lap times, that shows good promise as well. Consistent lap times are just as important as fast lap times. Running just a little bit wide here. That's going to hurt our time. Alright, little bit off course excursion. That's fine. We're getting lots of distance on this car anyway. Alright, nice and easy. Yeah, that was a slower time, about an entire second slower. Running wide on the second hairpin, really did that. That's fine. This will allow us to get very, very good, very, very nice amount of points. Hopefully we can get back into roughly 50 or lower so I can begin entering some of the RS events. That'll really allow us to kind of test ourselves. Really allow us to rake in even more points. Really kind of push this Integra Type aura to its limits. Especially once it gets close to fully tuned. I mean, the car itself sounds so nice. Did a really good job on the sound design of some of the the higher performance vehicles. Very, very nice. Especially the turbocharged cars. Alright, not the best final lap, but still really good. Alright, so we had 2 clean laps out of 6. That's not great. minor off-course excursions. Still very nice though. Good, good, good. Nice, more power. Decent amount of points as well. Alright, good. Our ranking's at least been maintained. Oh, the Saint Germain Cup. Oh boy. This might actually be very difficult for us. The M3 GTR and the NSX are going to be very, very difficult opponents, but even a third place finish. A third place finish should be possible. Third place finish should be possible. Downside is it starts with a pretty big drag race into the first couple of corners. And there isn't really a whole lot of places to pass outside of this straightaway. Oh, a lot of people went wide though. Oh boy, tight Parisian streets are not good for racing. Alright. Easy. That one was partially on me. I did close the door on him. Alright, let's catch that Mustang. Oh, that corner was beautiful. Just barely grazed the apex, and it was just perfect. Just a little blip of the throttle to keep me from spinning. That was very, very nice. Alright, now for the hell corner. The infinite roundabout. Yep. There's no apex, it's basically just don't understeer, which in a front-wheel drive car is a bit difficult. It's a little bit tricky. So basically for a front-wheel drive cars, you kind of want to tune it so on off throttle it oversteers so you can turn it in towards the apex. And then on throttle it understeers so you can kind of correct the slide coming out of the corner. But on corners like that, front-wheel drive cars absolutely hate it. The very, very long, continuous corners. We may be just outside of our depth. We'll keep pushing though. Oh, too fast. Okay. Okay, we're pushing a little bit too hard. Yeah, no, we're not making any ground on any of the corners, even the high commitment corners. Definitely not the best race for us. Yeah, that was bad. Okay. Let's have a good race now. Let's have a much better race. That was gonna be dreadful. Okay. Nürburgring Challenge. Ooh. Have a chance to win an R32 Skyline? Yes, please. Let's do it. Two, one, let's go. Alright, there we go. Good, 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 good. Very good. Yeah, corners like this, a lot of like sort of back and forth corners and everything. This track is really good for front-wheel drive. I mean, this track is really good for testing out most vehicles anyway. Very fun track. Very enjoyable. Alright, overflux Platz. A little bit on the curb. Very fast through here. A lot of high commitment corners. Yes. Oh, this is so much fun. Whee! Give me this speed. I think it's only 5 speed. It is only 5 speed, so we're maxing out around 150. Oh, no. All right, let's get that position back. Come on, let's fight for that. Let's go. I went to the brakes. Oh dear. Too late on the brakes. Okay, we're being a little bit too aggressive. A little bit too aggressive. Come on, let's focus. Alright, we are slowly gaining on that Tamekira. fifth gear. Very good acceleration on this car. Alright, down to third. Yeah, I see you. We are gaining on you, especially through the twisty bits. Some of the higher speed corners, the car is still a little bit unstable on because you still need to use a little bit of throttle. If you go full off throttle with the car, it just tries to kill you a little bit. Like it did for me. And Night Racer, good to see you. Hope you're doing well today. Welcome to the stream. Right now we are chasing down this Tamekira in our Acura Integra Type R, the DC2 version. Specifically the Japanese DC2 version. These are the headlights. Alright. There you are. I see you. Hi there. About equal in power, but that one is a bit lighter. And is also mid-engine rear-wheel drive, whereas we are front-wheel drive. But I can really push through some of the high commitment corners without worrying about the car. Oh boy. That's gonna be a double overtake. Oh, we managed to keep it actually. We kept the lead. Okay, good. At the PC version, every speed underground 2 and assault some mods. Holy crap, the game is legions better. Like the widescreen patch in the graphics mod. Very, very nice. I'm also familiar with the fact that there is some mods that add back in cut content from the game. Like I think there was like the Dodge Neon, Honda NSX, and I think one other vehicle as well that was supposed to be an Underground 2 that got cut fairly late. And there's a mod that adds those back in. But yeah, no, mods are always really, really cool in PC games. That's why I definitely want to try. Granted, I'm going to be playing a lot of like the PS2 versions of games first, while I'm working on trying to get the PC versions working. But it'd be cool to test out some mods on the PC versions as well. You know, I really enjoy Underground 2. The big issue is just has a pacing issue and a fairly weak, quote-unquote, main villain. But in terms of actual racing and like car culture of the early 2000s, like it captures that really well. So with that, you know, it's still a really enjoyable game. Plus, it's one of the few Need for Speed games that really has the massive variety of races to it. Like Street Cross has always been one of my favorite events, and it's a shame that it's only pretty much in Underground 2. Yeah, and the fast travel mod, the remove visual reputation, the unlimited extra options, music replaces spoiler replacing so much better. Yeah, I will say if you don't want the at some point the vehicles. The visual reputation, on one hand, it got you to engage in the vehicles, like customization options and everything. On the other hand, it was kind of mandatory for progression, which is a little bit annoying. I think DVD covers and magazine covers should have been mostly tied to vehicle performance, and then like have an extra bonus that's related to like the star modifier. I think would have been a better way to do that. Because once you get to around like a little bit past 5 stars, the cars get a little bit gaudy. I mean, you can still make them look half decent if you really put in a lot of effort. I mean, half decent for like a vehicle that was designed to be created around like the early 2000s. Like some stuff is very out of date, out of style. But it's not too. You can still make some half decent vehicles that are like higher stars. But yeah, no, removing the visual reputation thing definitely helps a lot. I feel like customization is better when you have complete control over how you want the car to look instead of how the game wants the car to look. Yeah, that's fair. It was a new thing at the time though, where they really wanted players to kind of invest in that. So from a game developer perspective, I can kind of understand that. But yeah, it is. I definitely think allowing players more freedom in the vehicle customization aspect can really help. And maybe even then, if you want, still want players to kind of engage to it, instead of forcing the hand, and maybe instead to kind of just encourage them instead, provide like little extra awards, something like that, in like magazine covers or DVD covers of, hey, people thought your car looked really heavily modified. But have the actual DVD covers unlocked more so by either doing certain performances in races, like beating certain times in like drag or drift, certain scores in drift events, or something like that. I would still encourage people to modify their vehicles and fully tune like the engine and everything. Like, given that Midnight Club 3 has less parts, I think customization is better than 2% what I said. I mean, a little bit. Midnight Club 3 also has a better variety of cars, so there's more for everyone. Whereas Underground 2 mostly has Japanese and European tuners, like 2 muscle cars and a couple of SUVs. Whereas Midnight Club, like I said, you get a lot more variety of vehicles, so you get a lot more variety of upgrades. So you can kind of, the vehicles look more distinct because of that. Whereas in Underground 2, a lot of vehicles kind of look, not to say similar, but like they all kind of have the same aesthetic. There we go, that's a much better score. But regardless, so it is, I mean, both games are still very fun. And both have their strengths and weaknesses. Midnight Club 3, it's still a very good game, but like I said, I'm not too keen on like the super slidey handling. And it is just a little bit too much toward the arcade and for me, but it is still a lot of fun to play. And also it has a lot less variety in race types. The races themselves are very high quality, but there is most certainly less variety in race type, whereas a lot of them is open world sort of point-to-point style races, occasionally a circuit, and like very rarely a unordered checkpoint or the autocross. I still consider newer Mustangs as muscle cars. They fit better as punch cars. Yeah, that one it's a bit more of a basic boils down to what the definition of a muscle car and everything. And that's more subjective, for classification. Non-Americans might classify the Mustang as more so a quote-unquote specialty vehicle, being not quite a sports car, but not quite a coupe either. Sort of a hybrid of, it can kind of it fits a very specific niche. Oh, just slightly slower than, or slightly less agile than sports car. Some people consider any American-made V8 powered rear-wheel drive car as a muscle car, which is why you get some people that claim that every generation of Corvette is a muscle car as well. And then you get some people that basically it's any front-wheel drive, so any front-engined rear-wheel drive V8 powered American car is a muscle car. And then there's some that are like, oh, and any high displacement front engine rear wheel drive car, regardless of country of origin, is a muscle car. Like the Jeremy Clarkson in Top Gear, when Jeremy Clarkson is arguing with the guys, he's like, no, the BMW M5 is a muscle car. It's exactly like a muscle car in that regards, because it is a high-powered, high-displacement, front-engine rear-wheel drive performance vehicle. It's a muscle car. And they're like, no, it's gotta be American, it's gotta be American. So it all depends on definition. See, that's unfortunate. A lot of racing games. I think it's good to be a fan of racing games, but it's bad to be a fanboy of racing games, I think. Like I said, I Underground 2, of all the Need for Speeds, is probably, it's not my favorite, but it's the one I think is overall, in terms of content, the best. Just in terms of vehicle handling, event variety. But even then, I am more than willing to accept that it has quite a few flaws as well. But it's still an enjoyable experience. Like Midnight Club 3. I really enjoy Midnight Club 3. I don't quite enjoy the Midnight Club games as much as the Need for Speed games, but I still really enjoy them. But I'm more than willing to admit their flaws as well. Heck, even some of my favorite racing games of all time, you know, like the Gran Turismo 3, I will fully admit it suffers from a reduced car list compared to Gran Turismo 2. Most of the events focus entirely on street vehicles as opposed to any racing vehicles, except for like a few of like the professional level events, which definitely makes it kind of awkward when you do get some lower tiered racing vehicles. There isn't a whole lot of races you can really enter them in without either bullying the street vehicles with the racing vehicles' higher grip or being absolutely destroyed by faster racing vehicles. And while the car selection is very good, it does lack a little bit of variety, being mostly comprised of a lot of sports cars, a lot of sports cars and other sort of vehicles, kind of just basically released right around like the late 90s, early 2000s, without a whole lot of classic vehicles like previous Gran Turismos did. I want to make a praise video for Midnight Club 3, but also include the flaws. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely do that. Definitely make sure you kind of make sure you write the script down, really kind of sort of lay out your points beforehand as well. That way you can make a really good make a good video and everything. Production value is also very important. But the Midnight Club 3 game, it is a very good game. It is probably like I said, it is a top tier PS2 racing game. It is very good. But like I said, it is good to look at things as objectively as possible, the good and the bad, and sort of see, where it could be improved. Because I think that also helps sort of temper fanboyism as well, where if you do sort of mention, okay, yeah, it did have some issues. This is what I'd like to see, I would like to see this, but like built upon. For example, I do kind of want to return in the Need for Speed franchise to a more black box style racing game, at least in terms of vehicle handling. But I fully admit that the black box games still had some issues. In the lower stages, in the slower cars, it definitely has a bit of a pacing problem. And while we're on the topic of Need for Speed, what do you want for next installment? Here's my hot take: Stitch the open world. I don't know. Open world in general, it needs to be done well. I think, how do I want to put this? I think a denser but smaller open world would probably do a lot better than the current open worlds that the most recent Need for Speed games have, especially Payback. Payback kind of was the worst offender of the bunch, where the world was huge, but it was very empty. I'd much prefer a more dense open world, if we're doing open world at all. A more dense open world with lots of different sort of interconnecting streets, a lot of like different sort of alleyways, side routes, highways and everything, different layers to the city, or different layers to the world, that allows for a lot of racing to take place within a smaller area. So that way the world itself becomes a lot more memorable. Because for example, the Underground 2, the Most Wanted, the carbon worlds, they're very, very good, but they're very, very small. But because that they pack a lot of races into a tight area, you see the set pieces and you really kind of improve as you go through. I feel like they're able to come up with more interesting locations and track layouts that have separate tracks. That is true. I mean, Need for Speed Pro Street did have some really, really good track designs, especially for the more original track designs as well. Like Tokyo Dockyard or the Chicago Airfield. Really, really cool. Pro Street was actually a lot of fun because of that. I think it entirely depends on what they want to do with the racing. Like, look at games before Underground. That is true. Like the Hot Pursuit 2, the tracks there are very, very high quality for the most part, and they're very, very good. But I mean, even Underground though, the tracks there, it kind of had a semi-open world. You weren't able to explore the open world, but like an interconnected city did exist. But the tracks there was still all very, very good with distinct districts, feels for each and every track. You know, you had the neon lights flowing off your car in Chinatown, the super narrow alleyways there, with the toll booth jump, or the bridge jump. You know, you had the more grid-like inner city section with a lot of 90-degree turns. You had more flowing backwoods, not saying backwoods, but more flowing corners in like the sewers and the industrial area, where it was very, very grimy, very gritty. You even had like a couple off-road sections by like the construction areas as well. The only two games that really had a diverse world were Hot Pursuit, 2010, and Rivals. Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, for that type of stuff as well, I think Hot Pursuit did a much better job than Rivals. Because with that one, you didn't really interact with the open world. It was more so just open world kind of existed as a set piece. Rivals, the open world kind of felt very empty. Like I said, if they do make an open world, it needs to be very, very, very densely packed with stuff. You know, multiple different roads, multiple different sort of set pieces, but also have a decent amount of terrain and variety as well, I think. But with that one, open world, I could take it or leave it. I heard someone of that. I mean, I was not what's happened 2010s, but they flipped it. It's similar. They share a lot of the similar set pieces. But it's not a one-to-one. Like you're missing the twin circle highway section. You know, where everyone who claims that Hot Pursuit 2010 had good handling shows their car drifting along the entirety of that sort of loopy bit. As if that's the only corner in the game. But I do want a more return to sort of a more planted, more grippy handling style. And instead of having sort of a hybrid brake to drift, not brake to drift thing, I think they should ditch that entirely. Focus more on a grippier style. And what you do is the more you kind of tune your car for drifting, the less traction the rear wheels have. So it'll still be super, super grippy, but it'll kind of like slide along as well. But you'll be sort of fully in control of your car. Sort of like the handling in the drift events in the two Underground games, where it's still very, very slidey, but you still have full control of the car. Ooh. Okay, that is definitely a hot take. And that one, I'm going to respectfully disagree, but I can see the point. They definitely added a bit of life to, and definitely kind of helped bring the Need for Speed franchise fully into the PS3 era of consoles. They did a good job in that regards. I just wish they chose a different handling model. I very much do not like brake to drift, unfortunately. That is like, because it takes a lot of control away from me as a driver. And I like to win or lose. And you see me, I have made lots of mistakes, even this stream alone. Very, very poor driving at times. But it is because I am in control of the car. So it is my wins, it is my losses. I don't want to enter a race and have mistakes. I brought Enthusia back to the true, it's not the break to drift thing. With that one, it is... Okay, in that regards, yes. They did sort of return sort of to the supercars versus police thing. Which was pretty good. I think ultimately, because of the sheer fracture in the fan base between the two parties, it'd be a good idea actually to have two teams working on different Need for Speeds. You know, one working on sort of a tuner style Need for Speed, and the other one working more like a Hot Pursuit style Need for Speed, and sort of have them as alternate yearly releases, where it's still two different teams, you know, working through that, but they do share assets, everything like, you know, vehicle sounds, you know, foliage, some buildings here and there and everything. Share assets when possible, but not necessarily when, you know, share assets when necessary, when useful, but not like all the time. So you have two different games with two very different feels that I think would be better than trying to make one game that would try to appease both camps. Because for me, I enjoy both the underground tuners and the supercars and exotic locales. I enjoy both. For me, it's just entirely boils down to vehicle handling. I want my vehicles to handle well. I want to have fun while driving. Which is the big thing, because like, you know, you see me playing a whole bunch of different, you know, racing games and everything from more sort of street racing, urban style, like the first Midnight Club, to, you know, like Hot Pursuit 2. This Saturday we're going to be starting a playthrough of the first Underground, and I'm doing, you know, semi-sim racing here. Also look at Most Wanted 2012's beta content. It's clear Criterion tried to make a true sequel to Most Wanted 05, but EA was the one that ruined it. Yeah, that one... That was a big case of what could have been. And unfortunately, Most Wanted 2012, I think, is what really kind of... I don't want to say fractured the fan base, but it definitely caused a lot of issues within the fan base. Because people heard the name and everything, and they were kind of expecting something closer to, you know, Most Wanted 05, because they had all the, you know, they had the, you know, all the nostalgia and the memories, and a bit of the fanboyism of 05. And I actually like Most Wanted. Again, it's that the world itself was decent. It had really good vehicle variety. The vehicle sounds were top-notch. I still think Most Wanted 2012 had some of the best vehicle sounds up until probably Heat. But it just, the tight grid-like city streets, just, it doesn't work with a heavy brake-to-drift handling model. And ultimately, in racing games, the racing is king. The racing matters more than anything else. On track, off track, tuners, exotics, what have you. Handling matters the most. And while it had everything else did really well, the handling is what unfortunately let it down. Which is a shame, because if it had a grippier handling style, it would have been a very good game. But even then, I can see why people... Yeah, the handling did not fit the map. It was clear Criterion didn't have brake drift in mind. Yeah, it kind of ended up, and it's sort of why I don't really like Burnout Paradise as well, is brake to drift doesn't fit urban maps that well, and it also doesn't really fit open worlds all that well. And when you have an open world urban area with brake to drift, it becomes more frustrating than fun. Because brake to drift kind of relies on the game anticipating where you want the car to go and sort of subtly helping you along that path. But when you have an open world grid-like city structure, it's much more difficult for the game system to sort of anticipate where where you're actually trying to drive the car. And that leads to frustration because you're more likely to get into contact with, you know, traffic and everything else. Plus, the grid-like city structure makes it more difficult to avoid and see traffic because it's a lot more blind turns. If you play Burnout 3 and Burnout Revenge, even if those do take place on some urban areas, those urban areas, there isn't really any blind turns. You can see very, very far ahead, which allows you to sort of plan and sort of adjust your drift midway through, which is what makes those closed course burnout games a lot more fun. Tomorrow's your grandfather's birthday. Oh, happy birthday to him! Tell him some virtual guy on the internet says happy birthday. I mean, I can picture it now. The question, well, what's a VTuber? But no, do make sure to give him my birthday wishes as well. And it's Michael Jordan's birthday too. Cool. Nice. It's always cool when you share a birthday with a famous person. Because you're like, you know, it kind of sort of adds to that sort of a little bit of that parasocial relationship where you're like, yeah, I got something in common with them. You know, it's really, really cool. You know. Plus then also, if other people are like big, you know, sports fans or big fans of that person, it makes it easier for them to remember your birthday as well. Ooh, easy. A little bit of understeer there with our Integra. Let's make sure we get back up and get back up onto the road. This should be the last race before we get this car to level 10, which is good because it is midnight. Notice I've been streaming for a lot longer this week. My sleep schedule is all messed up from work and everything. There we go. This should get us to level 10. We'll pick one more vehicle, and then we will probably call it a night because it is midnight. So let's get through this. Let's see if we did level up to level 10. Nice, we got the RX-7. Beautiful car. Very, very nice car. I love my rotaries. There we go, that's gonna level up to level 10. It's a very, very fun driving this car, but unfortunately now we're gonna have to pick something different. 720 points, that's a good amount of points. Not enough to help our ranking, unfortunately. Hopefully the next car is able to really help us along. Alright, Real Sports. Alright, we got four options here. Option 1, the Mazda Miata, the NA chassis. Miata is always the answer. The second option, the TVR Tamara. Terrifying car. Third option, the ASL Garai, I believe. And the fourth option, the Dodge Viper. So we got two cars that'll potentially murder us. Let's get the random number generator up. 3. Okay, that is the ASL. Nice. Of course, let's get it in the beautiful orange coloring. Unfortunately, the metallic coloring doesn't really show up all that well in this game. The cars kind of all have a bit of a more matte appearance, but the actual orange coloring of the Garaya is a very, very, very nice coloring. Alright, let's adjust some settings real quick. Stiffen the front just a tad. I know this is a mid-engine car, so we gotta watch ourselves just a little bit. Now back the limited slip. We'll do one more race just to kind of get acquainted with the vehicle. And then we'll call it quits. One more race, because I do want to drive this. Tsukuba Circuit Challenge. Nice, let's do it. I actually wouldn't mind another attempt at like a Need for Speed Pro Street. It'd be really, really cool. Alright, oh, they're all jockeying for position. Yeah, not good. Oh boy. Alright, let's follow the Alfa Romeo. We're on the inside. Well, the ASL handle is very, very nice. Doesn't have a whole lot of power to get out of corners though. But it's got that momentum. It's got that cornering ability though. Very, very good. Very stable. At least on Tsukuba. Tsukuba is very flat though. We'll have to see how it handles on bumpier circuits the next stream. I also have to actually learn how to pronounce the name of this car because... yeah. Easy, easy. There we go. Alright, up into the lead. Let's keep this lead. A little bit squirrely out in the braking. But it's still a very, very, very well-behaved vehicle. This is a really, really nice car, actually. I'm enjoying driving this. I see why it's ranked so highly despite only having like 200-ish horsepower. Oh my gosh, this is nice. Oh, this is very nice. It handles so well. Oh my gosh. Alright, down a second gear. Oh my gosh, this car handles beautifully. It's just, I am putting it exactly where I want it, more or less. And it's just super obedient, but very, very fast. A little bit of understeer there, though. I took that corner just a little bit too quick. Trying to find the limits of the car. I was definitely expecting this to be more of a snap oversteery mess, a terrifying car to drive, but no, this is... oh, this is brilliantly quick. Oh my gosh. Rory Medical 3 does not give up. No, he does not. He is the Mopar no car guy. I kind of wish he instead went to the Chrysler ME412. That was a bit of a missed opportunity for him. Because that also would have been a Mopar car, being a Chrysler vehicle. But the McLaren F1 LM is, you know, very, very nice choice as well. Very, very fast car on the straights. But it would have been cool seeing him in the, like a very, like, lime green colored Chrysler ME412. Have him constantly in, like, a Chrysler Corporation car. Or at least a Chrysler family brand car. That would have been really, really cool. how did he get that car? There's only 5 in existence. I mean, to be fair, he did also have the, I think there's only like 20 McLaren F1s in existence. But yeah, the Chrysler Me412, that one's super rare. And then he had the Viper concept as well. That one is a very, very rare concept car too. And then he had the Charger concept. He had a lot of, he must have been like an insider at like Dodge performance testing or something. Because otherwise, I don't know how he managed to get a hold of so many like super rare concept vehicles. Actually would have been a cool backstory for him. You know, he's an engineer, or, you know, a test driver for, you know, Dodge Performance Division, Dodge Road and Track Division, or SRT Division. Like, that would have been super, super cool. Oh, 106 McLaren F1s. Even, okay. That's a bit more than I was thinking. That's actually a lot more than I was thinking. Still very, very nice. Very beautiful cars. It was a hypercar that can actually take corners. Veyron. Yeah, the McLaren F1's a very, very nice car. McLaren F1 is the first hypercar. Or at least pretty close to it. I mean, you also have the Jaguar XJ220 and the Bugatti EB110 sort of right around that same performance level. But the McLaren F1 definitely sort of stood just a little bit head and shoulders above them with a little bit faster top speed. Not by much though. The Jaguar XJ220 got pretty close to, I mean, the 220 its name was designed to be sort of the target top speed of the vehicle. And for a few months, it was one of the fastest production cars in the world before the McLaren F1 took its crown. But yeah, the McLaren F1 is definitely one of the hypercars that has stood the test of time. A lot better than the other two. Yeah, the XJ220 is also very, very nice though. There we go, across the line. Very, very nice. That's a very, very, I'm looking forward to driving this car somewhere. This is going to be a lot, very, very fun car to drive. Nice, level 71 on our skill level. And the tuning level. Vehicle gets just a little bit lighter. There we go. Better. Okay. It is well past midnight. I need to head to work tomorrow morning very early. So I'm gonna be ending the stream here. No stream tomorrow because I do have work tomorrow. But we'll be streaming Need for Speed Underground on Saturday. Take care, midnight. So with that being said, if you enjoyed the stream, do be sure to leave a like, subscribe. Let me know when I'm doing well in the comments below. If you didn't like the stream, I do apologize. It was probably because of my poor driving. But if you didn't like the stream, do be sure to leave a dislike and let me know what I'm doing poorly so I can fix that in the future. Regardless, though, I've been Isaac Umbras. Wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it may be for you, may it be a great time. And I hope to see you on the next stream on Saturday. Until then, take care. Bye!